Good afternoon, guys. Welcome back. It's LSP. It's currently the 12th of May 2022. I want to start with UST. I'm just going to kind of get straight into this because you can see that it's obviously taken a pretty nasty downturn. It's currently at 26. I'm just going to say this now. I think it's very unlikely that this gets back, to parity, to be honest. It's not looking good. Like, it really isn't looking good at all. At this point here, we could have said, all right, look, price is gaining some traction. And maybe we start to push towards that sort of 90 and 95, get real close. And unfortunately, I think what's happened is price getting here after being all the way down here. People have taken that opportunity to just say, do you know what? I'm getting out of this. I'm not even gonna, wait to see if it even gets there. Maybe they've recouped some of their losses, and got almost back to the high of around about sort of 84, 85 at that peak, and people have taken that as an opportunity to maybe just take the hit, get most of their money back or some of their money back, and then started a cascade, to the downside. I think these bounces here and these small rallies that are happening on the way down are just people taking advantage, of arbitrage or arbitrage, and just trying their luck really. And that, excuse me, and then ultimately, we're just getting a huge reversal to the downside. It's just taken out the previous low. We've just literally created, as of the time of this recording, a new low at 25. Yeah, I mean, it's pretty sad. This is indeed very, very sad. If we go over to Luna's obviously just got absolutely decimated. This has just been absolutely decimated. We're seeing a little bit of an upturn, which is expected, as the UST is dropping. There's obviously a minting and burning process going back and forth. And the protocol is trying to fix itself, which is, from my understanding, and I'm not going to say I'm an absolute expert at this, but from my understanding, is making this problem worse. What UST would need to do now at this point, or at least Terra at this point, is just do one of the biggest burns in history, just to get this back to anywhere near, where it's supposed to be, which is very unlikely unless somebody steps in. And then obviously in terms of broader market, the broader market's recovering a little bit. So we're seeing some recovery of the broader market. If we just jump up to the weekly chart and kind of see what that looks like. So far, we had a low created, started to drive, took out all the liquidity here. I want to say a little bit of a rebalance, not a full rebalance, which isn't always a good thing. What that means is basically as price rebalances, it has an opportunity then to just reset and go somewhere else to start the whole process again of buy and sell, right? And starts to pick up liquidity from wherever it's driving for. That wasn't a full rebalance down here, so unfortunately we can't say that's finished. Bitcoin's on its way, to the upside. But so far, it is a little bit of relief, just to kind of slow the markets down a tad and give people an opportunity to kind of reassess what's going on. But again, not to be trusted. I don't believe for 1 second that this little bounce that we're getting, on Bitcoin is going to be like the turning point, or we're going to see, a bottom put in. I'd want to see something a lot more convincing than this for me to be confident that this is turning, back to the upside. Binance, a little bit more pronounced, obviously from 205 all the way up to 279, almost 280. That's pretty decent. That is pretty decent. And the way the structure is forming on Binance is showing that it wants to maintain this strength that it has against Bitcoin, however small that might be. But unfortunately, Bitcoin isn't allowing that to happen, because ultimately, if Bitcoin really starts to gain some momentum to the downside, it's dragging everything else with it. And it's a shame, because I've seen over the last 6 to 8 weeks, at least with the studies that I've been doing, the tracking of flows and stuff, right, that Binance has actually shown on many, many occasions throughout that 6 to 8 week period that it's showing a lot of relative strength and trying to depeg, or at least not depeg, trying to pull away, from the correlation between Bitcoin and Binance, which is obviously very, very good. You guys have heard me talk about this recently, and it's something that I'm paying attention to, something that I'm tracking, and something that I want to keep tracking, because if it happens, I think that's going to be the first time since Bitcoin's inception and the crypto market as a whole that a major player, in this case Binance, will move away from Bitcoin's control. But again, we'll see. I mean, obviously, there's a lot going on. There's a lot of things to take into consideration. There's a lot of change, that's happening in this cryptocurrency space. Stable coins are, I mean, UST is an algorithmic stable coin. We've seen this happen to these types of coins before. What happened with Tether is a little bit, because obviously that's backed by, I'm talking about USDT. Is backed by, the dollar. So that really shouldn't have happened. So there's a little bit of, small kind of depeg in there. It returned. But since then, and I think if I remember, and just give me 1 second, I did have, or maybe I didn't. Let me just bring it up. What do we got? So USDT. Let's go for Coinbase is fine, whatever, any will do really, just to kind of get a feel. Let's bring this further up. We'll stick that. Sorry, I'm doing this on the fly, guys. So yeah, we can see down to 94 at one point today, or thereabouts. So it depegged, and obviously it's gained, that snapback, that momentum, almost back to, 1-1. But this is not good. I mean, this is really not what we want to see in the market, right? Especially on a stable coin that's backed by the US dollar, right? We don't want to be seeing these types of, behaviors. We don't want to be seeing these stable coins doing these things because it causes a lot of fear in the marketplace. Now, this may very well just be, people panicking and getting out of USDT. Right? I know somebody who's pulled 22 grand out of USDT today. That's not pocket change. It's a pretty decent amount of money. And if a lot of other people are thinking about that as well, then it is possible, that it would cause this little spike to go down, and then ultimately, it's driven back up, almost back to 1-to-1. So maybe that's the case, but ultimately, again, not really something that we want to be seeing on these stable coins, especially when they're supposed to be stable coins, and especially the ones that are backed by an actual currency. An algorithmic stable coin, fair enough. You can say, well, there's some problems there. It's not really the perfect system, whatever. But a stable coin that's backed by currency, a solid one, shouldn't be an issue. So a quick market review. Like I said, everything seems to be slowing down just a little. Personally, be super careful with UST. This does not look healthy, to be fair. We should not be all the way back down here now. To be honest, we should have really gained some traction. This was the moment where we should have really started to gain some momentum and push towards that that $1 level, which it just hasn't happened. So be careful. And again, just a reminder, stay away from Luna. I don't know. It's more of a advice from an experienced, investor and trader. I don't want to tell anybody what to do, because if this explodes to the upside, for example, and people say, well, you said stay away from it. I'm just saying, use your common sense. Look at it. This is devastating for people that were in this. That is horrendous. That is absolutely horrendous. Nobody ever wants to see this. Even people that have made money on the way down and made money on the way back up on a few of these bounces, they might be happy because they've made a little bit of money here and there, but nobody wants to see this, guys. Nobody wants to see this. This is really not nice. So yeah, on that note, I'm going to leave the video there. Again, be careful, bit of caution. So far, Binance and Bitcoin are gaining a little bit of traction, but again, be cautious. I don't think that the market has finished doing whatever it's doing, and I'll update you guys in the morning. All right. Hope everyone's having an awesome day, and I look forward to speaking to you then. Take care, guys. Bye.